Hey, what's going on everybody? In this video, I'm gonna show you how to add this cool navigation bar at the top of your web page. So let's get started. So first of all, you have to pull up your Visual Studio Code and then we can create our new files. So let's create our HTML file and let's name it index.html. And we also have to create a CSS file so we can do the same thing, and let's name it style.css. Okay, now we have our index.html and style.css. So to generate some sample HTML, we can write an exclamation mark and then hit tab or enter. Next, in our head tag, we can link our CSS file. So we can add a link tag inside our head tag. So add an angle bracket, then write link. Then we have to write an attribute, which is the rel attribute. So this refers the relationship between the HTML and CSS. So we can write rel. And we can click this one, and we have to set it to style sheet. There we go. And finally, we have to set the href to the file name. So in this case, it's style.css. Okay, once you have linked your CSS, we can actually create our navbar. So we can add our angle bracket, and we're gonna use the nav tag. So we can write nav and close it with another angle bracket, and we can add the closing tag as well. There we go, and inside our nav tag, we're gonna create an unordered list. So we can do that by writing ul and clicking this button. And inside we also have to put the li, which is gonna contain our links. And inside our li, we can put our a tag, which is gonna be our anchor tag. And here in our href, we're gonna put the link. But for this project, we're gonna set it to hashtag, which leads to nowhere. And now we also have to set the name for it. So let's call it home. Okay, now we can copy our li and paste it several times. I think 4 is enough. And we can change the names as well. Let's call it contact. And the third one should be about us. And let's set the last one to order now. Okay, once we have added our links, we can open our web page. So if you have live server installed, we can come to our HTML file and right click it, and we can see an option which says open with live server. So here we can see we have our web page, and inside it we have our unordered list and our list links. Now let's get into styling our navbar. So in our CSS file, we can add some universal styles such as font family and padding and everything. So we can select the whole document by writing an asterisk and then add our curly braces and style it as normal. So let's set the font family to Arial because I like Arial. And we can also set a default font family, which is gonna be sans serif. There we go. And next what we have to do is remove all the margin and padding of the web page. So we can add our margin and set it to 0, and as well as the padding. There we go. And now that out of the way, we can actually style our links and the nav bar. So first of all, let's style our nav tag. So we can write nav and add our curly braces and add our background color in this. So we can write background color and set it to gray. And here in our web page, we can now see our navbar color is now gray. Next, we can set the width of it to 100 pixels. And we also have to add some padding to make it look better. And let's set it to 50 pixels and 0 pixels. Now we can see we have a thick navbar. And finally, we can use flexbox to display our items in the center. So we can set the display to flex. And then we have to write justify content. And we have to set it to center. And here we can see our links are now centered. Next, we can select our nav li's. So we can write nav and write li and use our curly braces. And the only thing we have to do is remove the dots here. So we can add a style which is called a list style type, this one. And let's set it to none. And now we can see our dots are gone. In our web page, we can see our links are vertically aligned. So to align them horizontally, we can style our UL. So we can write nav, UL, and LI. And let's display it in line. So we can write display, and then we can write inline. And looks like we have fixed our problem. We can see our texts are now inline. Now here comes the fun part. So now we're gonna style our A tags. So we can easily locate our nav A tags by writing nav, UL, LI, and then A. And then we can add our curly braces. So first, we can set the padding of it to 1.5 rem. And now we can see we have a little bit of gap between them. Next, to remove those underlines, we can set the text decoration of our text to none. And now we can see our underlines are gone and it's looking much better. Next, let's set the color of the font to white. Now we can see it's looking much better. Now we have to do the final part. Now we have to set the hover effect. So we can copy our anchor tags inside our nav and we can add a colon and write hover after it. And then after that we can add our curly braces, and inside let's make the font size bigger. So we can write font size and let's set it to 27 pixels. Next we can add our background color to make it a little better. So let's write background color. Let's set it to hashtag 404040. So this is a dark gray color. Hey, have you noticed something? The padding does not look very good. So we can easily fix it by adding a little bit of padding to it. Let's set the padding to 3.1 rem and 100 pixels. And then if we resize our window and hover over our buttons, we can see this is now working properly. We're almost done. So lastly, we have to add the animation. So what we can do is come to our nav ULLIA and then add a transition style. So now we have to set the transition to all of our links. So we can choose all. And then we can add our period of transition, so we can write 0.3. I think that's a nice time. And we have to write S after it for a second. And finally, we're gonna choose what type of transition we're gonna put. So I'm gonna go with is. And check that out. In our webpage, we can see if we hover over our buttons, we have a really nice Mac OS taskbar effect. So this is the easiest way to add the coolest animation to your navbar. If you like this video, please don't forget to drop a like in this video and subscribe if you think HTML is fun.